Hello and welcome to our list of our favorite Mario songs, the top 25. Like in the past couple lists that we did one for Zelda, we did one for Final Fantasy. We've compiled our group's take on it, given it like a point system. And now, for the first time, everybody but for me is going to be seeing this and seeing how everybody's votes ended up. And you can play along with us. We're going to be going 25 to 1, broken into like 5-song segments this week. Play along, let us know which songs you like, which songs you disagree with, what didn't make the list, or just how well of a list we'd had. I think it's a pretty good list overall. You guys can't say whether it is or not, but I think it turned out great.
Yeah, what an all-star cast too. We ditched that loser Dave, and it's just
Whew.
replaced him with me, which may or may not have been a good choice. We'll see.
Well, I get to play the role of like curmudgeonly old man who like maintains like Mario music is like not what I would listen to in my car. That's my barometer.
Mhm.
So I'm like the Ratatouille critic, and you guys are like having to change my mind.
I like it. Let's
Aren't
do
you
it.
already that person?
I'm already the Ratatouille. Oh, I've already changed my mind. No, because I voted. There's something again. It's like we'll get to it on the list and we'll break it down. But a lot of Mario music for me, I was hesitant to join because I'm like, well, that's fine if you're doing homework, but like not a song that you would listen to. But now's your opportunity to prove me wrong and make me have that life-changing revelation that reminds me of when I was a boy.
Now, inevitably, I was gonna say in the group list format, there's a point system to it. I used a slightly modified version of it that's a little bit less top-heavy. I think the top-heavy one's great when we have a bigger group, and it's still top-heavy, don't get me wrong. It's just not 100 points for first and 1 for 25th. It's like 10 for 25th, and it scales a little bit less sharply. So still, the top 5 that you each picked really matter. They really got the most points. It's just not quite so extreme because we've always talked about it. At a certain point, a 25th vote really doesn't mean jack shit.
Yeah. Well, and I think we should say we stuck to mainline Mario games only. That means no Mario Kart. That means no Bowser's Inside Story, which is the best Mario song ever made.
No RPG.
But we can't use that. Yeah.
Mhm.
No party.
No Mario Party. Yeah.
No sports games. There's a lot of other stuff. And I had 75 tracks for this just in the main games, not even counting the side stuff, which was another 45 or 50. So we may revisit that down the road, or I may just make my own list and talk about the ones that they put in there. But only 2 songs from outside the main series made it in anyways, so it wasn't a huge omission.
Yeah.
And one of them just barely made it anyways. It was 24. It is no longer in the list. One of them was relatively high. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I like that.
As far as honorable mention goes, we might as well talk about a few of the songs that didn't make the cut because, again, it's a group endeavor, so it means everybody's going to have at least a few songs that didn't make it, like I had 6 of my 25.
All of mine better have made it.
Shaun has 7 of his that didn't make it. Michaela
should be the most that are missing.
You and Michaela are close. Michaela has 10, and
Ah.
Doug has 10, so you tied.
Oh, yeah! High fives.
What a bunch of
Woo.
losers.
2 songs that got 2 votes. No, 3 songs that got 2 votes did not make the top 25. So multiple people voted for these and they didn't make it, which was the overworld theme from Super Mario Land. That was me and Doug. But it was my 25th and his 19th. So, you can't really feel too bad about that. Delfino Plaza from Sunshine, which was, weirdly enough, both Shaun and Michaela's number 21.
Interesting.
But again, number 21, so yeah, you can't. I mean, what do you want? What can you do?
Yeah.
And then Super Bell Hill from 3D World, which was Shaun and Doug, but it was Shaun's 19th and Doug's 20th. So again, it just didn't get enough points despite getting 2 votes because they were pretty low votes.
So if we were colluding, we should have done it better, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you would have had to move it up pretty substantially to get into the top 25. It would have needed double the points it got.
Yeah, nor would I have wanted to. So another thing that makes this list so tough and interesting is so many of the songs like have the same name, but they're different. There's a lot of overlap. It gets the same song can make multiple appearances with different names, so it's
It can be
tricky.
confusing.
We did our best. I think we did a really good job as for parsing all that out. But we're gonna just uncover it as we go.
One name of a
It's,
track is in the top 25 4 times.
Oh boy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Astute Mario fans may be able to pick up on what that is. We will certainly get to it when the time comes. I will also tell you that inside the top 25, there are only 4 songs that only got 1 vote. And in those cases, it was a high enough one. I think all top fives that made it get enough points to get up there. So overall, it represents the group pretty well. And for those of you who didn't have certain tracks make it, it's because nobody else voted for them more often than not. Those are the only 3 examples I just listed earlier of times where multiple people did, and none of them were above 19th for either person. So
there's pretty good consensus then, is what
I
the
think
list
so.
represents. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are, let me look real quick, just because I think the stats are fun. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 songs that all 4 of us voted for.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Nice.
And we'll start to get to them
All of
here.
them named one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we and then we talked about possibly going through like which games each person seemed to kind of like prefer. Well, maybe by the end, if we have time, we can kind of explore that. But I think it's also interesting.
And it might be simplest, honestly, if you pull up your list and find out yourself. Just because that way, because it's hard for me to tell in the spreadsheet form who the hell
That
did
is a
what
good
anymore.
idea.
So
I
at the
will
end, we
do
can
it.
talk about like, oh yeah, what did I have the most on my list? Oh, I had this there 4 times and this 3.
Yep.
So
Yep.
keep that in mind for towards the end. And just for the viewers who are wondering, like, wait, you said 4 votes. Well, Nick didn't have a chance to make a list, but he's still here to join us and talking about the songs because he's played most of
Nick.
these games and he's here for the ride.
Nick, no.
Good to be here.
I'm the skeptic. I did more. You love Mario music. What happened? Just kidding. You don't need to answer that. All right, I got
It's a
my
ton.
list.
Okay, so I don't know how this is going to work exactly. I think I know what buttons I have to hit in combination, but let's jump in to our number 25. We vamped with an honorable mention because we'll talk about the bottom 5 the least. The bottom 5 contains, let me pull up the list. Why is it going to sleep on me? 1, 2, only 2. Only 2 of the 4 songs only got 1 vote, but the other 2 are the next 2 after that. So we're going to get through those pretty quickly because nothing above, let's see, what spot is that? 19. The top 18 all had multiple votes.
Nice.
So
Okay. Great.
we'll get through these pretty quick, and then we'll start going through the ones that everybody really started to care about more, starting with our number 25. Is that really not going to work when I click on this window? You're going to make me go crazy like this now. It worked in testing. I saw it. You all saw it work in testing.
We did.
Yes, saw it and heard it.
All I can do is make
I
it
saw it.
disappear. I can't make it advance, which is really troublesome. What I can probably do is click over here. Okay, great. Can't even see the mouse, but we're going to figure it out. Number 25. And now I have to click it again,
It's okay.
and then I have to start playing it.
Well-
Ready? I'm pleased this made it. This only made it because we eliminated the 2 non-main series. But both Doug and I did vote for this, let's say, not high, but middling. And it was just enough to beat out one of Michaela's picks, so she had the only solo vote on it. Beat it by like 5 or 6 points. So it wasn't super close, but a little bit.
Yeah.
But if nothing else, this means we get a land song in here because I will just go ahead and spoil the rest of the list. It's the only one from 1 or 2.
Yeah, I remember this
Wow.
song, and it was good. And I remember it was good because I was in Disneyland playing my Game Boy, so I was one of those losers. But I would actually be in line, and I would turn up my Game Boy just to kind of hear. I thought it was a pretty
Yeah.
jaunty little tune.
I like it.
It is a good tune, I will say this. I didn't honestly expect any Mario Land 2 over Super Mario Land 1 because I think that the soundtrack for 2 pales in comparison, to be honest. But I mean, this is a pretty good one. I will say this though. When I found my old Game Boy, the first game I reached for was not Super Mario Land 1. It was Super Mario Land 2.
Well, that's
Aw.
because it's the better
Playing
game.
Mhm.
Yes, playing it, it's the better game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But soundtrack-wise, I like a lot of the tracks in the other one better. This is certainly one of the top ones.
Yeah,
I guess the top one as far as we're concerned.
I think I had 3 songs from Mario Land 2, which is the most of anybody. I think the soundtracks of 1 and 2 are both pretty good, but this one at least I was like, I wonder if I'm going to get any backing on it. And Doug at least had me on this one, so it made the cut just
absolutely.
barely.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I remember from this and hearing this song is basically just like the gravity was weird in this world, so you just kind of like super jumped all the time, like really, really high jumps, and it was
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
weird, but
Had like the bunny ear things just constantly going.
and it was confusing because the stars were bad. If you touched the stars, you died, and they're everywhere. So you have to like jump through this narrow column and then get through the gap and then go through another, and all the stars are just glowing and having a nice time. But if you touch them, which is kind of backwards for Mario, as we will get to later in the top 25.
Well,
Huh.
maybe they need to bring that back. Maybe they need to bring that back. They made the poison mushroom. Maybe they can make the poison star.
Yeah, it's kind of been gone for a while. We had a dark star in the RPG game that showed up and kind of hurt you, but it was dark and not yellow. It's kind of rare, but we have.
Yeah, they just forgot about everything from Mario Land 2, with Wario being the one exception. Well, all the Mario Lands, nothing really has shown up again.
Yeah. I mean, you can argue, I guess Daisy's technically in the first land, sort of.
Right, yeah.
It looks
kind
nothing
of.
like her. It has nothing to do with her, so it doesn't really count.
Right.
All right, number 24. Let me see if I can do this correctly. I'm going to try my best.
We believe in you.
All I can do is try my best. The hardest part is my phone keeps going to sleep, and so I really wish I had my laptop, but it's fine. 24, I was also happy to see make the cut because, once again, it's the only representation from this game, but I think it's a good one to have in there because I enjoyed the soundtrack quite a bit, and it's the title theme from Super Mario Wonder.
Nice.
Well, and I like this vote because I wanted to get a song in there because music is a really big part of the game. But this riff, they call back to it a lot in the music of the game. So I thought, what's the best way to capture that? Just vote for the title theme. So great. I'm glad I was not the only one.
It was me. I also voted for it. Even higher than you did.
Me and Chris.
Nice.
I was surprised. I had 6 or 7 songs from this game that made the first cut, but almost nothing made the second just because the list was crowded and really hard to get through. But I kind of just enjoy how, lighthearted and fun the song is because it sort of represents, like you said, a lot of what just happens in Wonder. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's not easy. There are definitely challenges to be had in it, but you can also get your kids and have them use the Nabbits or Yoshi. So, you want it to be lighthearted and whimsical, and this captures that to a T, I think.
And I think it's a strong track to have be the musical motif that carries throughout the whole game. So yeah, that's fun.
I will say this, as far as multiplayer Mario games go, one thing that they definitely needed was songs that, just a lighthearted thing. Otherwise, you're going to be punching each other because of all the times that you cause each other to die. I mean, it's not as big a deal anymore in Wonder, but
Nick, that's a great point though. I was critical of the Mario music being well, it's elevator music. It's not it's not catchy enough. You wouldn't want every Mario song, though, to be like Bowser's Castle. Or, we'd all kill each other. Or it would add to the tension. It needs to fit the theme of the game. It needs to fit what you're doing. And so that's why I think there's a really big diversity in Mario music that should be there.
Yeah, the soundtrack is great. I played it a lot on road trips, so I maybe wasn't always hearing it, but I always liked the music I was hearing. And I did vote for a song from Wonder as well. I don't know if it made the top 25 or not. But I think this is a perfect choice, too.
There are certain games that you should not play. Certain games you should not play with no volume. And this is definitely one of them. Because
I was playing it with volume, just softly.
Still mostly a mistake then.
There's so many songs from this game, even the Wonder Seeds. It's just they're bangers, and then you're you want to replay the stage because you're that was a fun sequence.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Even the, what do you call it? The stabs, the music stabs from Mario across the board, going from jump to when you get a star to all of that. Just genius.
Yes.
They really knew what they were doing, huh? And of course, the people's opinions of the Talking Flowers have been mixed. I enjoyed putting them in Spanish, and then I thought they were a lot more fun.
I like them in Spanish too.
Because you can still see what they said in English.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know some people were annoyed by them. But what's nice is you can change the language or you can turn them off.
Yeah.
So you don't like it, fine, get rid of it. Number 23. I leaked in advance. There it is on the side. So fuck it, just put the whole thing on there. I tried my best. It
Composer
failed.
Mario.
I'm surprised this is as low as it is. I remember putting it pretty high on my list. I think. Maybe I should double check.
I wonder if
where was it?
The only voter?
Maybe.
You were.
Ah.
So you get to talk about this one because this is our first of our 4 solo picks. You
Take
had
it
it,
away,
what,
Kayla.
6th?
I mean, I just remember. I remember a lot of the music from Galaxy, because I played the hell out of that game a lot, and I just remember liking this music. It very much fits the motif of the planet. a melting molten galaxy. You can like envision what that looks like. You can hear it through the music. I kind of like the Spanish inspiration in there too. I like this track a lot. This is one when I was listening to Mario music in like high school for homework and stuff. This was absolutely one of the ones on my playlist. So it's great.
This did make my first cut. You weren't alone on this, but it didn't make my final cut, obviously, because you're the only person who gave it actual points to tally up.
Yeah.
But I do think this is one of the more underrated tracks. There's a couple we're going to get to later that obviously are well known from this, a couple that have endured beyond just Galaxy. This, I think, was kind of slept on back then, and I think you would find other people agreed with that too. So unfortunately, nobody else gave it a vote, but I'm not really upset that it's here. It was your number 8, I believe.
Yes, it was. I checked.
Yeah, and there's a lot of unique sounds to it, and the percussion's pretty cool. That's a good song.
I mean, I'm also a sucker for like big percussion set pieces, so that's usually a good time for me.
You could make the case that this, or I guess Galaxy 2, just because it has so many songs from the first Galaxy in it, could be the best soundtrack in the series. Again, 2 has most of 1 in it, so maybe that's the cheating way to do it. Then it's like, well, yeah, like Final Fantasy 14 is the best soundtrack because it's got all these other songs in it. It's like 1,500 songs. Like, okay, but you get the point. Like the Galaxy soundtracks in general, really well regarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michaela is definitely the Galaxy.
All the Galaxy
promoter.
representation,
She's
right?
the Galaxy girl.
Yes.
I was gonna say I had the least, but that's not true because Doug had the least because of his format. But
Oh yeah, that's true.
of the 3 of us, I probably had the least Galaxy, not because I didn't like it, just because I had so much else to get in.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
No.
I'm only upset that she said that it's very memorable for her from high school. That's the only thing I'm upset about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, actually, it might be even because I keep thinking this game came out in 2007 or in 2010. It came out in 2007, so actually it would have been middle school. So
Actually,
it's
it was
even worse.
preschool.
So it's worse.
It's worse. I'm sorry.
Actually, it was from the prehistoric age.
Yeah.
Little baby.
Yeah, and now we feel old and dead. Number 22 got 2 votes. For me and Doug again. We teamed up. Me and Doug are best friends so
What is
far.
this? What is this?
It's collusion at the highest level.
We have taste.
You're the
okay?
host. You can't be caught doing this.
It's too late. It's already happened. And here we have Highway Showdown from Super Mario 3D World. Doug, this is one of your votes. You take the floor.
This was, I believe, the ending theme to like Bowser's in a car and he's just driving away, and you're supposed to kick a whole bunch of bombs and everything, and it's like, oh, this is a great time. I'm having a great time with this.
Bowser's in a car?
Yeah. He's got a big
Yeah.
souped-up ride, and you're supposed to destroy it by kicking bombs at it and stuff.
I feel like I played this game and I don't remember.
That's because the majority of the time we spent playing this game was on the last level on Champions Road.
That's
so
true. That's all I can
You remember nothing
Everything
except for
has
that.
been
We played
burned out
that
of
for
my memory.
literally half the time. There's video proof of it. Go find it on the
Yeah.
channel.
I do like the boss themes a lot, and what my specific format that I forced myself into didn't necessarily give me a chance to display it, but this was one of the ones that I had to include.
Yeah, 3D World had the big band approach, although this is a little more grimy and like, we've got some like heavier guitars and stuff, but still, I really like the soundtrack as a whole. We could do without the furries. I mean, if that's your thing, fine. But for me, I look up at this box art, well, the soundtrack's art, and I go,
Yeah.
no.
Well, that's an interesting comment though. Of like, this is very much like the full orchestra, big band. Like they have all the capability to do this now, and we talk about this I think, every time we do a music list. When you compare it to early games, and they have 3 notes, and they have to make a really memorable riff, as opposed to now this. Now, I still think this is a good song, but how they approach the soundtracks based on what instruments are available to them, I think is always really interesting.
It's not the only song from 3D World in the list, though, so we'll see if the big band approach pays off later.
Heck yeah.
Doug, you're going to be on the spot again.
You better be
Uh-oh.
ready, Doug.
I hope you're ready.
I'm not sure I am.
Doug,
but
don't
here we go.
panic.
Because this
I'm
is our
panicking.
second solo pick.
You're telling me not to panic. That makes me panic.
I'm so panicking.
Ah!
And it happens to be yours. So our number 21,
Mhm.
you get to talk about because it's your song. Ready? Go.
Sure. I mean, there's there's only so many times that you can talk about dancing coins and dancing coins, Nick. That it just leaves an earworm
Yes.
in my brain for how many years has this game been out?
I mean, not quite as long as Galaxy, but not too much less.
So really a pick and a half,
But
not
this
just
part
one pick.
where it goes. Do. Is this present in other Mario games?
Yes.
Okay.
This
I'm
is
not
kind of a
going
staple
crazy.
of the new games.
Okay.
This is just the version
And-
that he put down in particular, so it's the one we play. But this is in a couple other of the new games as well.
Okay. Great.
Right. I when the games first came out and they actually had like the Yoshis and the Goombas and the Koopas all like interact with the song too. That was a little nice little touch.
So,
to
are
it.
you a bigger fan of the interaction or the song?
I do like games that they're designed around the song. In particular, for those that know, for the Messenger, there's the music box where the entire stage is set to the music, and just that little bit of interaction with like everything going on in this screen. It was a lot of fun.
I wonder what the name for that is, because diegetic is when people in the thing know it's a song playing in the world.
Right.
This is not that, but like they're interwoven.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word for that is. We need a tech guy to get on that, but it is fun when it shows up, and I do remember that from this game. Every time the little voices go, you can picture it in your head.
Mhm.
Like we're looking for a term that refers to when characters in a work react to the soundtrack. Is that what you're saying?
Not exactly, though. I'll get back to you. I'll frame the question, and then we'll explore it, and it'll be worth no one's time.